The much awaited review of Extreme's new album, 6. Before we get into it, just to let you know, I sat down and properly listened to all the previous albums. And so by the end of the 6th review, I will touch on how this album, in my humble opinion, compares to the older albums. Alright, so I've already done reaction videos to Rise, #Rebel, and Other Side of the Rainbow. I've listened to this entire new album 6 times. Yep, 6. So let's get started. Rise. Blew me away, it blew the world away. Insane solo, great harmonies and melodies. Loved the riff. I couldn't quite get into the chorus, but overall, I loved the song. It was aggressive and catchy. Also, doesn't this sound a little bit like the Rise solo? #Rebel. Another banger. This was the all-round winner for me from the first 3 music video releases. Love the solo, love the aesthetics of the video, which was very rock and roll, but especially Gary's vocals wowed me. And Nuno's guitar harmonizing with Gary's vocals, and then all 3 of them with Gary, Pat and Nuno together, music to my ears. Here's something very interesting I read. Apparently Gary, who sang with Eddie Van Halen on the album Van Halen 3, Gary couldn't hit certain Sammy Hagar notes. So Gary really had to learn to stretch his vocal range to be able to hit those notes. And he credits this learning to have expanded his vocal range on the Extreme songs that would follow after. Nuno also said that Gary's vocals now on this album are the best that they have ever been. Even at 61, Gary's range, diversity, and personality really shine on this album. Banshee. I didn't do a reaction to this one. I like the riff, it's very groovy, very Aerosmithy, but the verses and chorus didn't really talk to me at the beginning, but the more I listened to it, the more I got into it. The solo, of course, was amazing from the start. On the other hand, my partner, who is a huge Extreme and Nuno fan, listens to Banshee non-stop. It's his favorite song of the album. Other Side of the Rainbow. Someone commented on my reaction to this video calling this song a melodic masterpiece, and that is exactly what it is. If you watch my reaction, I shed a few tears. It's been a while since a song really touched me like this emotionally. The last one was Tarja Turunen's I Walk Alone. This song took me through an emotional roller coaster. Gary's vocals, not Freddie Mercury, kind of forced me to face some truths and loss. And just when it hit that emotional low point, Nuno's solo just storms in and yanks you back to a happy place. So we've come to the end of the first 4 music video releases. I feel like so far with all of these songs, they really resonate with the old Extreme sound. But from here on, it felt like new territory. Small town beautiful. This opens with acoustic guitar and is slow-paced with Gary and Nuno interchanging vocals. Again, very Aerosmithy vibe. I found that this chorus stuck in my head the most. I really liked this melody. Harmonies are really nice. Overall, it's a very beautiful melodic song. Rip off your mask and show me who you are. This one has an industrial vibe. It had me tapping my foot from the first listen. It's steady and intense, and it's another one of those choruses that just stuck in my head because it repeats a lot. The solo is also pretty cool. It fits in really well with the vibe of the song. This line is cool. I'll take the blame for all my sins, but I won't take the hate for what you imagine. Overall, I really like the song. Thicker Than Blood. The first time I heard the entire album, Thicker Than Blood stood out as an instant favorite. The song starts out heavy, and Extreme have experimented here with electronics. It's still rock, but it has this modern feel. Interesting fact, Nuno said that he's been listening to a lot of electronic music over the past few years, including electronic trap. I have no idea what that is. Gary also said that he'd been to some rave parties over a New Year's Eve and had a culture shock. He found it interesting that there was an entire generation of young people enjoying repetitive programming rhythms, so it's possible that these events may have influenced the song. Even the solo plays over synths, but it's very heavy and groovy, and I really enjoyed it. Save Me. This one starts out slow and you think, another acoustic ballad, but then it goes. It was a nice surprise when it took that tone. Save Me has a really cool riff, some squealies thrown in. The solo on this one is really nice too. Overall, it's a rocking song. Hurricane. So when I read the name of the song, I thought this one's going to be throwing up a storm. But we are back to an acoustic ballad. This is a beautiful song. It's nostalgic and the lyrics are deep. It talks about feeling emptiness and pain, and in that sense it compares to a hurricane and storm. Again, Gary and Nuno switch vocals and their two-part harmonies are very soothing here. The song is very simple and Nuno's restrained himself here with the guitar, but that's cool because it kind of keeps with the whole vibe of the song. And that's another great thing about Nuno. He's not shredding and throwing in solos just for the sake of it. They're all very well thought out and they fit the structure and the vibe of the song really well. So overall, cool vocals, soothing vibe, very emotional song. X Out. This gave me a Stranger Things vibe. This is a very bold and unusual one, and one of the more adventurous ones on this album. Again, electronics thrown in. I did not know what to expect when this started, but we're back to heavy and dark. I love how the solo picks up. Gary's vocals on here are awesome too. It's a good one, definitely one to play on repeat. We are almost at the end, look at us. Beautiful goals. All around the world. The first time I heard this, I was like, it took me 6 listens to get into the song. It's because I'm not a fan of reggae and this song has all those feels. But kudos to Extreme for experimenting here. It has a very Caribbean beach type vibe. It's fun, like a summertime song. And I would probably listen to it if I was on holiday at the beach. The solo saved the song for me. So we've gotten some pretty dark and heavy tracks so far. And with this one, Extreme has gone to the other extreme. According to the band, this is about celebrating the beauty of women around the world. Overall, it's adventurous, it's fun, not really my favorite. Last one, Here's to the Losers. Here's to the loser. This is a slower paced song, and when it started it reminded me of Lizzie Hale's song. Here's to us, here's to love, all the times that we fucked up. But it has a very strong Queen vibe. You cannot win them all. A couple of things really stood out here. The message, which is about being okay with losing sometimes, but to get up and keep going. I love Gary's vocals here. They are so good, especially when there's a nod to Freddie Mercury. He kills it. The emotion in his voice literally takes me back in time. Backing vocals also very cool. So yeah, it's a beautiful song and I dig it. Overall, there's a lot of creativity and experimenting in this album. Nuno said expect the unexpected, and that is exactly what happened here. The things I found missing from this album were guitar aggression and more funk metal. I guess they got the funk out. But that's not a bad thing, because it's fresh, it's diverse, it's bold. I mean, art would be so boring if artists just did the same thing over and over again. It goes against the whole definition of creating. I don't want to predict an entire album. I want it to surprise me. And although I am a sucker for aggressive music, I also like songs that speak to me emotionally, and I found a lot of that on this album. I love solos that bring out emotion that the song is trying to convey. Now, there are many people who are saying that Pornography and Three Sides were way better and that Nuno has really held back his potential here. Those previous albums, more guitar aggression, yes. But Pornography was released in 1990, Three Sides in 1992, over 30 years ago. Nuno was 26 years old, he's now 56. Gary was 31, he's now 61 years old. How many things did you do in your 20s that you won't do when you're 50 or 60? Of course they've changed in 30 years. Different mindset, influences, priorities. And what's great about Extreme has always been the inability to put them into a box. And they've done it again with this album. These guys do not make music for the fans. They do it for themselves. And I can appreciate and respect that. After 15 years, I am beyond grateful that they're back and that they're touring again. So I will be listening to this album and all their previous albums over and over again. I get that everyone has different opinions and I would love to hear yours. Check out my reaction to Other Side of the Rainbow right here and bring some napkins.